Charles Wilson Peele's painting, The Exhumation of the Mastodon, was painted around 1806. It's a scene that describes something that Peele was actually involved in. Charles Wilson Peele owned a museum in Baltimore, and part of his collection was a huge woolly mammoth, or a mastodon, that he had uncovered in America. In fact, if you look to the right of the painting, you'll see the Peele family. There's Charles Wilson Peele on the left with his hand outstretched to the hole, and the roll of paper that they're holding is the mastodon leg bone. And so what this is this is a depiction of the enterprise of getting the mastodon uncovered, and eventually would lead to the mastodon being in his museum. The reason why it's such a great Age of Reason painting is that it's the celebration, almost the worship of technology and in a machine. And so what we see in the center is that in order to keep the hole from filling up with water as they dug deeper and deeper, they've constructed this machine whereas the water comes up on these buckets that are in kind of a conveyor belt of sorts. You see the buckets on the going down behind are empty. They go around that log, fill up, and then go up to the top full. You can see the ones on the bottom that are kind of overflowing. Then when they get to the top, they pour down that gutter that heads off into the distance. It goes back into the background of the painting. And so there's this task that needs to be done, the digging of the mastodon, and they are using technology to accomplish that task. In addition to it being the celebration of technology, with the machine being at the center of the painting, the human beings are dwarfed by the size of this machine, both in terms of the scale of the painting and in terms of the scale of the technology. Humans are small in comparison with the vastness of the machine. And so we actually have humans that look like they're undergoing or involved in a process pretty similar to what the machine is. You can see that the humans are digging out the dirt, and starting at the center of the poem and heading left, or painting and heading left, you can kind of trace a conveyor belt of sorts of the diggers. So they're digging the dirt or the mud, and slowly the dirt is going higher and higher until it reaches the top of the painting, where the guy on the very upper left is sending the dirt away from the painting. And so we have this thing that takes one machine digging the water out, or taking the water out, and then we have a thing that takes many, many people, but it's far less effective, and so the scale of human ability is dwarfed by the potential of this machine. And so it's a celebration of that technology. The second thing you have is the concept of digging. And so this scientific process, which is trying to unveil something from the past, in this case the exhumation of the mastodon, is kind of an allegory for the role of science and technology at the time, using this technology and using the scientific process of discovery to get at these underlying truths. So whereas in the Puritan period we were discussing how the Bible was a source of knowledge, here not only is technology a source of work and effect, but technology is also the source of uncovering truth and knowledge. And so the fact that this is something that is not viewable until you exhume it is part of technology. On a side note, there's a tremendous amount of class messages that are in this painting. I'm not sure I would declare these messages to be pertinent to the discussion of the Age of Reason, but still we see that there's this upper class scientist gentleman represented by the Peele family, and there's other people. Rembrandt Peele, which was Charles Wilson Peele's son, is also in the painting, with their nice clothes and their umbrellas and their society. And then there's the shirtless or kind of dirty men, as if maybe the lower class could be understood as also the tools in a way that's similar to a machine. But for the most part, the messages that we're looking at and the messages that you should be familiar with have to do with the way that technology and science are at the center of this exploration and discovery.